Hello, and welcome back to another week of the Xbox Nord podcast, episode 21. This week, it's all about DC Fandom, Microsoft sales in Japan, and maybe just a little bit, just maybe, a little bit of Splinter Cell.
We pray.
We pray. We pray. Absolutely.
Such.
Just hopefully. Before we start, if you've been following us on your YouTube page, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, feel free to leave a comment down below. All that stuff works for the YouTube algorithms. I don't know how that stuff works, but all I know is that it's supposed to help us get traction. So, yeah, hit the subscribe button and all that stuff. You can also find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts. Just look for Xbox Nord Podcast. We're also on Reddit, Instagram. Look up Xbox Nord Podcast, and for Twitter, @NorthXbox. I'm Andrew Ravindran. I'm back. I'm happy to be back again. With me, as always, my two great dads. Not my own dads. I got my own dad. But I'm with
Josh. He always makes that awkward.
Yeah, I know. I'm not the best with daddy jokes, I guess. I don't know what it is. Maybe, yeah.
You can call me daddy anytime.
Okay. Joshua James and Dan Robertson. I'm so happy to see you two and chatting with you guys. I'm not kidding. I'm so freaking happy to talk about it. And we're having a
back
video
again in action.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Dan, how's it going, man? I haven't talked to you in a while. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, not too shabby. I've been relaxing a little bit, trying to get some stuff done around the house and play some of that Back 4 Blood.
Too much.
Slowly getting there. Yeah.
Nice.
But not nearly enough, because apparently you've already beaten it, Andrew.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't want to gloat about it. I wanted to talk about it after, but no. You know what? I'll help you beat it.
If you just sleep every once in a while, like I would be able to catch up with you.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. I actually
By the time 11 o'clock hits for us, we're just like,
yeah,
not to fall asleep.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so sad about that. Yeah. Well, I guess that's what happens when you got a day job, and then I got like a night job or something, or I got a weird job. Also with me, Joshua James. Josh, how's it going, my friend? I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. Long time.
Right? Actually, me and we got to meet yesterday for the first time. You got to meet my kids, my wife.
Horrible kids. Right? Why?
Oh, right? You see the nightmare I deal with every day, those little rascals, right? No, they were sweet to you. He was talking about you all day, so that he will be talking about you for a couple of days now, at least a couple of weeks.
Good. Oh, nice.
So no, it's been good, and getting through Scarlet Nexus and playing Back 4 Blood.
Yeah.
And I've been very much enjoying that. God, that bar level is so good.
Oh yeah,
music playing. You're just looking down the doors and zombies are just pouring in, and you're just mowing them down, picking up Molotov cocktails off the bar, and just throwing them at the doorways and stuff. Like, what a cool game.
Yeah. You unlock some cool stuff too if you can complete that level without the jukebox breaking at all.
Yeah.
Yep. You do.
So I want to try that out. We got to definitely do that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Oh
yeah, but it's been good. Been a good week. What about yourself, Andrew? Did you enjoy coming and meeting the family?
Absolutely. I want to thank your lovely wife for cooking a vegan meal for me, because I'm a spoiled brat, but it was delicious.
You should have heard her all day, just like, I'm cooking a vegan meal. Oh my god!
You know what? I love the dessert. I love the cake, the vegan cake, because ever since I've been a vegan, I haven't had those those pleasures of those like desserts in a while. It's been mostly like coconut yogurt, which is like the most like, just
sounds fantastic.
Fantastic, right? Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Gets a little bland after a while.
How'd your mom rate a slice of cake?
Oh, she really liked it. Because the thing is, our version of dessert is chocolate hummus, which is like, sounds amazing at first, but then you're like, oh, this is like practically your Nutella replacement, but you don't need a Nutella replacement, right? So, it was delicious. I think she already ate it. So, because I was in I came home like What is it? I woke up and then I was like going downstairs. I'm like, oh man, I ate something. Now maybe I could use the dessert. I'm like, maybe it's not eaten. And then I'm like, oh, my mom's like, oh, I already ate that. What was that? And I was like, oh, whoops.
I
But
ate
yeah,
all of that.
yeah.
Like it was
Game.
for you, but I was gonna eat it.
Yeah, that's true. What a horrible piece of shit I am. Yeah.
You're a
Oh,
garbage person. So.
yeah. Gaming wise, obviously I finished Back for Blood. I'm kind of in the fence of what I think about it altogether. It's a bit of a mixed bag for me. I like the gameplay. I like the gunplay, everything about it. I just want like more. That's the only thing that I kind of got after I finished. I was just like, I just need more. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping the post-game content for this game is big because it kind of feels very like Destiny vanilla. If you like, especially the first Destiny one where like I liked everything, but I just want even more than I got. You know what I mean? So I'm just I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna play it after like Forza comes out or Halo Infinite comes out. I don't know if I'm gonna touch it. I'm not kidding. Like,
we'll see.
Yeah.
It's all about it's kind of like a roguelike, right? So it's all about the repeating it and it playing out differently, going through the different difficulty layers, and just I think the game it's all about the overall challenge of it, and just
it is true.
Refining your technique over and over and over and over again, and that's the game in the end, right?
Getting a good team together.
I will also say the fact is that it is one of the better like cooperative experiences that I had in a while because there's a certain part by the second half, I'd say Act 3 and Act 4, you need communication. You cannot play that game without, and I'm talking about not like somebody that's just using like their D-pad to be like, ready, go, spray, you know what I mean? I'm talking about like you need like constant verbal communication, and I was just like, okay, if this game adds its post-game content on what like Act 3 and Act 4 is, which is some of the best parts in it, I think it's going to have a lot long legs, and I'm pretty sure it will because it looks like they said they're going to have like a full year of, you know, content, so... yeah, I'll just see when it comes out, right? I like the verdict is right now. I'd say where it's like Metacritic at. Like I feel like that's where I guess it's fine. Like, you know, I think I'd give it like a low 8 or something like that. Or actually, I hate reviewing games. I just feel like it's so unfair, especially for games like these, right? It's a different experience. But
have you guys tried World War Z? Like
Zed? What are you, Canadian?
Yeah, right. Have you tried that? Like, is that considered to be a better game than this?
Our friend Ryan plays it a lot. I need to play that.
I haven't played it too much, but I like the pace of this game better. Like from what I saw of DayZ, just it didn't seem like quite my pace of game, and like I liked this more, but I think I could understand where you're coming from, Andrew, because it like Left 4 Dead had the same sort of issue. It was just like you got through the few levels there and everything, and then it kind of just felt too repetitive, and that's where it started to lose my interest and everything. We played it for a good long while, but I'm hoping for this to release more chapters and everything and more acts and just have lots of DLC basically to include on there and really expand the levels and keep them going. Like so far, like I haven't gotten super far into it, but I've liked it so far, and like I've replayed the first act a couple of times now because like I started it and then I started it with like our buddy Ryan. Like I played with you guys a bit, and then I kind of restarted a little bit on a different character just to see what the experience was like. And so now at that point, like, Act 1's getting a little repetitive, and they do change it up a little bit, but it's mostly they move doors around, they move like rooms that you can access kind of around a little bit, and it'll be like, oh, there's a toolbox room here where you can get some different stuff. So it's kind of luck of the draw too, because it does create more tense moments for that. Like it's not a big change up, but in some ways it kind of is, because as you're encountering some of the bigger enemies and everything, or just more floods of hordes and stuff, because you're attracting them through birds being on the map instead of more sleepers all over the walls that are jumping out at you. And you kind of got to change up your tactics and move it around a bit. So it still does give it some replayability, You just don't get the visual change mostly.
Yeah, and like the corruption, yeah, you were saying like with the corruption cards you're talking about pretty much, like
Yep.
changes up the game. Have you, I was watching this one video and this guy came across a corruption card where every door was like an alarm door and you
It
can get
was
lockpicks in the games. So
Yeah.
like everyone decided to like bring lockpicks with them. So every door they went to, they had the lockpick. So it's kind of interesting that you gotta kind of
Toolkit.
strategize towards your the corruption card. So I do like the card aspect to the game. I think that
Yeah.
gives
And
it
your
more
benefit cards.
longevity and replayability.
Yeah.
That's mostly what I've been experimenting with. That's why I keep replaying it, because I'm building up different decks to put with all my characters too. So I've got like a shotgun build up, I've got a melee build up. I'm working on like an assault class and stuff too, so that you kind of all your stuff works together. Like in my solo, when you're in solo, you have all the cards. So I just started building a deck in there and just played with a few things. So on my shoddy build, I've got like way better reload speed. I've got every time I hit a person, I get some temporary health with like each little pellet from my shotgun. And then on top of that, I get extra defense whenever I've got temporary health. So now I'm walking around more like a tank, and it's a lot easier to get through the levels and everything. But now I have to unlock those cards for online. So
There's a really good card when you are doing tank, when you can have two primary weapons, and it's like game changes. Game just feels different. You like, you are right though. I will say like all the variety of the deck building gets quite fun and kind of like it's the challenge of the corruption cards. I think that's what it's giving its long legs. That's why when I see if it has post-game content, I think it can be like, you know, more cards coming in, not just like levels, but there's also more interesting cards, more interesting corruption cards, or more interesting cards for your deck. So
I'd like to see you able to change up your deck as well between either acts or between even like scenes in the act or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because that was the one thing I noticed I didn't like as much.
Yeah.
It was like you do kind of work up and build up your deck until you get to the next act and everything.
Yeah.
So you're kind of working towards that, but at the same time, I would love to like, in between those, like, oh, you can change up classes. You guys can kind of switch up roles and everything without having to create a whole new campaign run.
The cool thing in Act 3 is that, like, it's no spoiler alert, but like you can choose so many cards. No, it's not a spoiler alert. It's like, you know, so anyway, I'm sorry. But was that really a spoiler alert? I was like, what?
No,
You could just,
no it wasn't.
But that kind of made me go, oh, I think I can play Act 3 and 4 so many times over and over again. That's what I realized. That's why I was like, I'm waiting to play with you guys, because I'm just like, Act 3 and 4 is going to be a lot of fun with you guys, because I was playing with randos and it was fun, but just with like friends.
Yeah, we're way cooler than randos.
Yeah.
Well, and it's fun. It plays really well.
Yeah.
The gun play feels kinetic. I love and this kind of harkens back to what made GoldenEye great when we were kids. Remember when we played GoldenEye for the first time? You're like, yo, they react to your bullets, man. They get shot and they fall over. So like, it's seeing the bullets just like rip through them, and just everything feels really sticky, and like you can see almost every action of the bullet. It feels good. It's a good time. Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's a good game. It's a good. You know, I will say something though. Co-op shooters, we're gonna get a ton of them. We're gonna get a lot of like you're thinking about like next year, like Redfall, Darktide. There's all these games, and I'm sure there's gonna be more and more.
Darktide's gonna be good.
Yeah, like I'm just looking at myself and going like, hey, Game Pass is gonna have so many co-op shooters, even the ones that are not that big. Like you think about Warhammer.
What about Halo Infinite Firefight? Like Firefight's essentially almost like this, but more in like an arena. And like every level goes, they add like another corruption card essentially to it. So I really hope we hear something about Firefight. But we will definitely probably talk about that further in the show.
That's true. That's true.
Speaking of co-op games, there was a few announced at DC Fandom, and we got some other cool
Well, no,
releases
you guys are
too.
saying it wrong. It's Fandome. It's
Fandome.
because they're in a virtual dome.
They're in like a big arena.
It's
Okay.
like the arena. It's the Fandome.
I was wondering why you
Splinter Cell.
misspelt it like every time on the script, and I was like, Josh, do you not know how to spell? I was like, what's
Yeah.
up with the dome? Like I was like, what's up with the E? It's like,
It's
what are
the
we, French? Like,
I always pronounce it wrong anyways because I just see it and it's like Fandome.
yeah. Okay.
Fandome.
I didn't know that.
So
but
close.
I guess,
Yeah.
yeah. But
No,
you
they
know,
built a huge arena.
yeah,
For the Fandome.
To film everything in.
nice.
Yeah.
And
No one else
yeah,
is allowed in. You have to wear
But-
masks.
It's so funny because like half the time the hosts were like, "Could you believe this place?" I'm like, "You mean this green screen? This green screen?" Just like, because you guys are all filming it at home, they're just like, "Here, we sent you a green screen in the mail. Can you just set it up and then we'll make
Pretend
it
you're
work?"
here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're not
Are
allowed
we-
to go anywhere.
Can I ask a question before we start this? Are we all DC guys over Marvel guys? Because I'm a DC guy.
Yeah, I'm a
Okay.
DC guy.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's great. Okay, I wanted to hear that. I forgot. I know Josh you were, but I forgot about you, Dan. That's why I was like,
I still appreciate Marvel content and everything, but
Yeah.
I'm much more of a DC guy. I'm a Batman fan and everything. So
yeah. Like even from the movies and all that stuff, right? Like,
Yeah. I've been having so much fun because lately the dollar store even has like full size graphic novels and like $100 and something worth of graphic novels. I
Wow.
just picked up for like $40.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I have.
Yeah.
I think I had a good
nuts.
selection. It's
They're like
down
$4
there.
each.
I have
Yeah,
a decent,
I saw them at the Dollarama.
yeah.
And it's like, I'm like Jesus. I'm like this $3. I'm like I'm like I bet you could buy all these, bring them to the DMV, and sell them for more.
Yeah, probably. You
Yeah.
could probably sell them for like $10 a piece at least.
Yeah, at least twice. So yeah, we should start. Let's start with DC Fandom. It happened over the
Yeah.
weekend. We got some exciting news from comic books to movies and of course video games. But before we do talk about video games, because we are an Xbox podcast talking about video games, let's talk a little bit about the movies. What we liked out of the presentation. We circled 3 films. I guess they were the only big 3 films that were shown. The Flash movie that's coming pretty soon. I believe is it going to be called Flashpoint? Does anyone know if it's going to be called Flashpoint or is this still
I
not
thought it was
titled?
just The Flash.
Somebody told me it's going to be called Flashpoint.
It might be called Flashpoint or something to do with Flashpoint because
Yeah.
it's definitely
Oh yeah,
Flashpoint involved.
yeah.
Like heavily
Yeah, it
Flashpoint
seems like
involved.
they're trying to take that story and
Did you guys watch the
Justice League.
the
Flashpoint?
Flash? No, the Flash like TV series and everything,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
they did the big crossover with
Yeah.
Supergirl and everything. Yeah, and it was flashing all through all the Flashpoint universes and everything, which is awesome because it brought all the cinematic universes together in the multiverse for it. Like they had Burt Ward show up in one. They had
Ezra
Michael
Miller.
Keaton.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ezra Miller
Yeah.
showed up right at the end, and they're like talking about each other's costumes and everything. I
think
thought
that's
that was
how he
great.
gets the name the Flash because he's like, I'm the Flash. He's like, the Flash.
Yeah, he's like, that's a good name.
Flash. But I hated his costume in this trailer. There was a wide shot where he was standing there and he kind of looked cool with all like the lines going around him. But there was like this like up close face shot with his mask on and
Yeah.
it looked awful, right? Like that face shot looked awful, I thought. I missed the Justice League costume. I thought that was way
All the
cool.
Justice League costumes were phenomenal.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Justice League
But
costume was
they
great.
really
Which is
like-
that's the one that's pictured there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that's not from the trailer. That's
Yeah. Somebody edited that, but yeah.
Yeah. I think there's going to be multiple Flash costumes. I mean, obviously we're going to see multiple Flashes because we saw the trailer. We saw 2 Ezra Miller, 2
yeah.
Flashes. So I'm sure that I'm more excited about
heavy
seeing
on
Michael.
Batman. Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael
Yeah,
Keaton.
Michael Keaton. I mean, because I'm just kind of like I'm looking at it. Like you saw the cast list. Even Ben Affleck's Batman is going to be there and all that stuff. So that's a promising movie. I'm just kind of like curious of how it's going to look because I will say that my favorite DC animated film is Justice League Flashpoint. I don't know if you've seen that one, but I think that's literally that's one of my favorite like DC
the animated one.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite like DC and media.
It's
like,
good.
and it's so good. The movie's so.
It was awesome, and that'll be interesting to see how they're going to change that because this is like a different universe.
Yeah,
right?
like Aquaman's not going to be in, Wonder Woman's not going to be in. Like it's not going to be like
They're not going to see
Well, they
like
gotta worry
Batman's
about
dad.
Yeah,
Unless that is Batman's dad.
Well, like who's the bad guy in it? Is it the Reverse Flash? Like,
Or
there's
is it-
so
No, it's
little.
the
we know
Riddler.
about No, I'm talking
Right?
about in the Flash movie. I'm like, who's the bad guy in the Flash movie?
it
Is
looks
it
like
going to
it's
be the Reverse Flash?
yeah, or
Like who?
I don't know.
So they don't say a lot of what's going on. And is it going to be Godspeed or maybe even what's it called? That Flash Red Death or something from the Dark Multiverse?
That was a really cool Flash. I really want Grodd.
It was Batman. It was
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Bat Flash.
That's true.
Batflash.
Yeah,
But,
they'll never make a Grodd villain though. Like on that would be a really
You
good.
never know. Come on, we got.
You don't
King
want a
Shark.
giant psychic gorilla? Yeah.
Yeah, we got King Shark out of Suicide Squad. Why wouldn't we get
yeah.
Gorilla Grodd?
That's true. That is
Watch,
true.
you know what? They will tease. You know what? I'm going to say it here. They're going to tease Gorilla Grodd in this movie, 100%.
They will. He's going to be like the
yeah.
ending. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, yeah, he's going to be the ending villain where like they're going to tease him where like, oh, there's somebody and like he's in the aquarium. He wants to see you, or I don't know, something stupid, right? But we'll see. Yeah. So that Black Adam. That's what I was going to go to. Black Adam. That was a teaser. That film is clearly still early in production, or it's, I believe, just filming. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Black Adam. What do you guys think about that? I'm in the fence on this one, by the way, just because I didn't see enough.
He's been teasing it for like what, 7 years?
Yeah,
and they just finished.
He's excited about it.
Yeah,
but there's some good people in it. Like they got what's his name from the old James Bond movie, Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, playing
as Dr. Fate. Yeah,
or Dr. Fate. So that's what.
Yeah, he's playing Dr. Fate.
So it's like
gonna be
almost
awesome.
like Black Adam versus the Justice Society. It seems like because they have Hawkman in it. It looks like a really.
I'm interested to see how they're gonna do Dwayne's makeup and everything. Like, are they gonna have him with like the semi-pointed ears and stuff, kind of like Black Adam has in the comics or whatever? Or like, what are they gonna do exactly? I'm almost more excited for Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate. I think he's gonna rock that role.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see Dwayne as Black Adam. We'll see how he does because it's a very more serious role than he's used to playing too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious about the mythology and what they'll get into about the Egyptian gods that gave him the power and stuff like that, and how that ties into. And we didn't circle this on the list, but how that ties into the Shazam Fury of the Gods movie coming out, which looks really cool. So, from seeing like the Flash, Black Adam, knowing Shazam's coming, we got Aquaman coming. We'll talk about the Batman for sure, but it seems like they're building a really interesting like world, and each character is getting their own like mythology and getting really in depth with it. Like I hear Aquaman, the next Aquaman is going to get like
Atlantis.
really into like this lore and like how it's just like another world down there. So I'm digging the DC movies for sure.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Black Adam?
I think it looks awesome. I'm excited for it. They like Andrew's saying, they didn't show too much, but I want to see it. I mean, I think
I want to see him fight Superman.
Yeah,
same here. I know. I want to see.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see more Man of Steel, stuff. I actually really like that Man of Steel movie a lot.
I'd like to see Black Adam take on Shazam and Superman. I always want to call him Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
That's what I started reading.
He was Captain Marvel for a bit, and then they changed the title. Yeah.
And Marvel's like,
Yeah.
I was always kind of curious when I started reading it. I was like, why did they go that route? And it was
Yeah.
specifically to kind of be a dick to Marvel.
Yeah.
I thought they were gonna announce also like, and I hope I hope they decide to make a Justice League 2 and continue the Snyder. I like that Justice League movie, that 4-hour movie. That movie's wicked. Like,
yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah,
which is crazy because the Joss Whedon version is such a pile of garbage.
that's a Frankenstein movie. That's a Frankenstein.
It's so bad, and then
Yeah.
you watch the actual, what was intended.
Zack
movie.
Snyder's vision, of it.
Yeah, he's like, it's a 4-hour movie, so it's a bit of, I like how they put it in parts so you can kind of watch one part at a time, but it's cool, man.
Yeah.
Just some
And I understand people not wanting to be like, oh, you don't want to be like just a Snyder fanboy or whatever. It's like most of his movies, like I like a decent amount of his movies, but I'm not all in it for just Zack Snyder. I really enjoy the way he brought his universe to life in that proper edited film that he wanted to put out.
I mean, before we get to the Batman thing, because I was like, but tonally, I have to say, I just, like, as a kid growing up, like, especially a 90s kid, comics were, like, really hardcore and dark and gritty, and they were, like, this really great set of colors that I watched. And then when I'm watching all these Marvel films, I'm like, I just don't like the tone of these films, and I didn't like the forced comedy.
Yeah,
something about DC, just I loved it. I love the looks of their films since I was a kid.
Speaking of this forced comedy, like, I'm like watching, I don't think of the latest Eternal trailer, but the one before it, and it's this beautiful epic trailer, very serious, awesome. And then right at the end, they do a stupid like vibranium joke, and it just, in my opinion, it just ruined the whole. Yeah, it just ruined the whole trailer. I was like watching this trailer. I'm like, oh, this looks epic, and then they're like, haha, you broke the table. You did a stupid idea joke.
It was the same thing. All of their films. I'm
so tired of that. It just, because where you could say the DC movies, at least the Zack Snyder movies, and even the Nolan movies and the ones prior, they take their world seriously. Where I feel like in the Marvel's movies, they know it's a comic. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just feels like it's a comic. It is based on a comic, but it just doesn't feel real.
I feel like it appeals to, like, they were going for appealing to more of a broader audience and, like, bring in all the people that don't really read comics and everything. And Marvel did that really well. And they did a great job of it and everything. But I don't get those, like, tingles down my spine when I'm seeing, like, a Marvel trailer or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, that looks cool. It was like, even in, like, some of the bigger scenes in Endgame and everything, it was like, oh yeah, that's really cool. But at the same time, I see, like, the Batman and seeing him, like, take out guys and watching the bullets bounce off his armor and everything, and just seeing the Batmobile, like, turn up, and seeing even Michael Keaton's Batman show up in the like, trailer, and finding out, like, they're bringing that whole universe in and everything. That,
like, the movie universe.
It just makes me so excited for, like, I could be excited for weeks on end. Like, I see the Marvel stuff and, like, yeah, I'm excited. Like, I still want to see Shang-Chi, but we just haven't had time to go to the theater to go see it and everything. And I would love to watch it, and it looks cool and everything, but I'm not nearly as excited for that as I am for what they just released in DC Fandom, and I'm going to feel that way until the movies come out.
Yeah. Same here. I mean,
like, I'm excited for the Eternals, but
I'm not first in line to watch that.
Not nearly. I'm like a little girl screaming inside when I saw that the Batman trailer. That movie looks really cool.
Speaking of it,
speaking of the Batman trailer, what did you guys think of the Batman trailer, Andrew?
I mean, the big thing for me is that I've always loved Batman since I was a kid. I loved even the Joel Schumacher bad Batman and Robin movies to, the Tim Burton stuff and the, Christopher Nolan stuff. I really like this new try with Matt Reeves because he made those last two Planet of the Apes films. If you guys haven't seen the last two Planet of the Apes, solid movies. So this is a perfect director. and the fact that this is like a really gritty, detective story, I'm all in. It looks beautiful. It's colored really well, and I think perfect casting. You know what I mean? This is like, it's just one of those off-the-wall castings that you just go. Like, I remember when people criticized Ben Affleck, but then I thought Ben Affleck was a great Batman. I think this is going to be a great Batman. And I like all the I like all the cast members. This looks phenomenal. Every facet of it, right? And it's gritty. Everything that I want in like a new Batman movie. It's going to be perfect for me. This is my movie of 2020 that I'm going to be first in line to buy a ticket. You know what I mean? You always say that one movie that you want to go to. This is the movie for me for next year. I don't think there's.
This will be probably this will probably be the next movie I see in theaters since Endgame. Actually, I haven't been to a movie theater since then.
Yeah,
I know. I have a big TV at home, so
yeah. What about you, Dan?
I'm so excited. Like you were saying about Ben Affleck's Batman, a lot of people were unsure of it and everything. I was hoping for the best, and when he came out with it, I absolutely loved it. My two of my favorite styles of Batman are the Dark Knight Returns, where you get that older, gritty Batman and everything, and that's really what they were kind of going for the feel of in the Justice League and everything with Ben Affleck's Batman. And I felt they did that really well, like the brutality and the almost semi-comical, but and comical in the best sense of the word and everything, where Batman's like crawling along the roof and everything and jumping around. Like, it's almost a little silly, but at the same time, it very much has comic book feels. Yeah, where it's just like, you see Batman like disappearing out of a room or whatever, and just like seeing him like crawl across a friggin' ceiling super fast. Just like, can you imagine the power and everything that would have to go into that, and the size of what he looks like? He should be able to do that. And like, even like what I really like about the Robert Pattinson Batman is it's very much like year zero, year one.
Year one, that's a great comic. Yeah. Oh, that's a great series.
Oh yeah, dude, and just that hallway shot, and he's getting like shot by the Tommy gun, like like, bah, 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 and he's just like walking.
Seeing the flashes just bounce off, and he's just walking right through, just flips the guy over, and
he has no regard for his life.
It's and just how intense his armor is too, taking that many bullets like that close up, and not even being worried about it.
Yeah,
it's
gonna be a cool movie.
Yeah, I think about all the like the Batman storylines. Like as a kid, like I think I've read most of them. Like Hush, I loved Hush when I was a kid. Year One, which was the interesting thing about this one's like I'm wondering if they're gonna take a lot of Year One, because Batman Begins was a little bit of Year One.
I heard they're basing it off of the Long Halloween.
Oh, okay. Long Halloween,
which is a good.
Yeah,
it's a great story actually.
Yeah, so. There's a lot of storylines that I've liked from the Batman ones, but there's also certain ones that a lot of people don't know well, and like certain like set of villains that like kind of get introduced. And the one that I'm like really excited because like a lot of people don't talk about this storyline well, but it's finally getting its kind of like recognition, but in a video game mostly, because I don't know if they made an animated film, but the Court of Owls.
They did actually make an animated film.
Which was it? Was it like a late last one, or like what was that?
Yeah, it came out not too long ago, but there's stuff about the Court of Owls.
It was really good, and he comes out in the big mechanized bat suit and everything to take him out. Well,
I've been behind on those animated films. Oh man, I've been behind on animated films.
Meanwhile, I try and keep an eye on them as much as I can because I absolutely love them. They're so nice and true to the comics as much as they can be. I find, and I really enjoy them.
Yeah. Awesome. That screwed up my transition because I was like trying to be like, oh, look at this amazing transition that I'm going to go to for Court of Owls. Speaking of, we should get back into gaming. Finally, we got to see Gotham Knights again. This looks really great. Mostly because I was trying to make this cool analogy about the Court of Owls trailer that they showed, but regardless, thank you for being better DC loyalists than me. What do you guys think of the story? I'm in. This is like Bat Family Co-op. Sounds like our game. What do you guys want out of the game?
It sounds like it's like if you read the Court of Owls story, there's a moment where he like Bruce Wayne goes into the labyrinth and he's gone for a little while, and it almost feels like the game is like at that moment.
Yeah.
But I'm so into playing a game about Robin, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Red Hood. Like, I love those characters. I wish we were getting Red Robin and Robin, like Damian Wayne Robin.
Maybe post-game downloadable content.
I really like Damian Wayne Robin. Like,
yeah.
Son of
I
Batman.
think he's
the
son of Batman.
More though, and so you can't really just toss in a fifth unless like I bet he's going to be, or like if they can, they might put him in as like a hint character or something.
Yeah. Maybe he's really mean to you. Yeah.
So Damian, like he, like every comic book character, he died and came back to life. But there's a great Batman and Robin issue where it totally like made me tear up at the end. There's no words in it whatsoever, just all images. It's the issue after Robin dies, and it's just about Batman going out into the city and just going ham on criminals, like piling them up onto
just taking out his grief on all the criminals in the city until they basically
the last page is him just like gripping his son's uniform in like a spotlight and just like breaking down and like
amazing.
No, that's Damian needs to be in this game. So
I'm happy Red Hood's in it. Because I really like Red Hood.
I love Red Hood too.
Yeah.
What a weird, did you ever read the comic book where he came back to life?
It was a strange one.
It's like Superman punches through time and stuff. And then they totally changed it and rectify it where it was like the Lazarus pit. But the original one was it got wild where Superman punches through time and stuff, and he just comes back and comes out of the ground because of that. It's so stupid.
Yeah. It's hilarious even reading the history back on what happened to him in the first place, and that the fans voted that in.
Oh yeah.
They just didn't like his character enough, or just wanted to see if they'd actually follow through and kill off the character, and they totally killed off Jason Todd. Of course, they brought him back because everybody comes back.
I'm curious how his character will work, considering. Well, I guess his guns will act like they're projectiles, like how they shoot the batarang. Yeah. So I was thinking in my head, I'm how is he going to work with more of a gun? But I'm they got their batarangs, so they'll probably just work.
He'll just be punching people with guns in his hands.
Yeah.
But I look forward to playing co-op in this game. It's the Bat family.
It's been
Dan, this is me and you. This is me and you are 100%. We're gonna be
this
actually might be something I put up money for, because us Xbox players, we don't pay for games.
Yeah, no. Well, we have no games anyway, so
Yeah, no, exactly.
Right? What are you talking about?
I forgot about that. I forgot.
You know how long this game's been in development? By the way, it's been in development for a long time, because their last game was 2013. So I think it's
Well, given the bar set by Arkham Knight and all the Arkham games and everything, you have a pretty high standard of what your game's got to look like, first of all, and then feel like, secondly. Because if you can't get that feel right like Arkham did, then what's the point, really?
Yeah.
I find it weird that, and we'll talk more about it probably when we talk about the Suicide Squads, but this is not based in the Arkham universe. This is separate,
whole separate game.
A whole separate universe, not part of the Arkham universe, which I found so strange. I guess because the whole Jason Todd thing that happened in Arkham Knight, which was we all knew
he wouldn't be able to be quite the same.
Yeah, him being in the game wouldn't make as much sense, but I find it very interesting that they are just totally, where they could have had an interconnected world. They are going down almost like the movie route, where they're we can go down this way, or we can go down this way, and they don't have to be connected to each other. So it's
whoever has not finished Arkham Knight, ignore what Josh just said. you know.
Oh yeah.
Spoiler alert.
It's like how old
Like
is that
7
game?
years old, I think. I don't know, 6 years old. I
But
don't
man,
know.
if you play
It's
it
pretty old
today,
now.
it's gorgeous. Like
It still holds up, yeah.
Still a pretty looking game.
That's what I used to really test my computer when I got a new graphics card for it. Was just I played through all of Arkham Knight again, and it was just amazing.
They're just like, it's raining all the time in this game. It's like, but the CPU.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
actually, it's funny you all just said that, because when I was playing xCloud, I was playing the first game I played was Arkham Knight, because I was like, oh, I bet it can't run this, and I was like, what? You know what I mean? So
that's nice. Yeah. I'm
Um,
excited to
yeah.
test out xCloud on my fancy new Windows 11 that I just upgraded my tablet to too.
nice.
Because apparently it's got like the built-in xCloud and everything, and so they're developing that really well, and the console companion. So
the app I find on Windows 10, like I use the website for some reason, it keeps on like dropping in and out.
Yeah.
Even on my phone app, but I have to use the browser instead. But Gotham Knights, I'm into it. 100%.
I think it'll be fun.
Be
I
awesome.
think it'll be a good game.
And I'm really surprised they're releasing a whole other game. Same year, like DC is going to be like kind of one after the other in a similar sense, because they're both co-op games too, right?
Yeah, they're releasing they're releasing like 4 big games that year.
Is Suicide Squad coming out in 2012?
Yes, it is. 2022 as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh
No.
man.
Yeah.
And they're so similar, I feel like, in the sense that they're going to be like a co-op.
Do we know it? But do we know the gameplay? Do we really know the gameplay?
We haven't seen enough of the gameplay to really know how similar they're going to be. They have to be fairly different for them to think this is going to really succeed well.
Yeah.
Unless they're just like, oh, just slap some villains on one and slap some heroes on the other, and they'll play them.
Yeah. It feels like we're getting the two sides of a coin for that. But yeah, no. Let's talk about Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League.
Yeah. Great title. Obviously, the graphics look incredible. Rocksteady's always made a great benchmark. I mean, I think they started right at Arkham Asylum. Arkham Asylum was one of the prettiest games on the 360, and obviously we know really well about the Arkham trilogy. This is set actually in the Arkham universe. This is actually a continuation of Rocksteady's. So it is a main, which is interesting, because I thought, maybe this doesn't have to be, but it's a bit odd, as Josh, you were just saying it.
Another odd thing is there's the Batmobile in it. Like, who's driving the Batmobile?
King Shark.
Because if this is based in the Arkham universe, is this based before Arkham Knight? Because at the end of Arkham Knight, some shit goes down, and I'm very curious who's driving that Batmobile.
Although if you get the official full ending and everything too, it's not really clear what happened at the end there.
Yeah, it's true.
They leave it open, so
that actually
that big dark bat.
That's
but
true.
Everyone knows it's Bruce Wayne, right?
Yeah. So in the story
Dick Grayson.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. It revolves around Suicide Squad defeating Brainiac because he brainwashes the Justice League. That's what the story that they've Rocksteady has kind of came out with so far. So I'm kind of curious to see Brainiac as well in this game.
I'm just scared no matter which character you're going to be. It's just like in what's it called? Injustice.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like they always do the banter at the beginning of the match or whatever. And most of them are all just like, "Oh, you're stupid," or like, "Oh," like they always have like their little catchphrases and everything. But then there's the one line that Superman gets. It's like, "I'm not the one fighting Superman."
Yeah.
How can you kill him?
You gotta fight Superman. Like,
I'm curious. Like, how is that even gonna work? Like, how are you gonna fight some of these characters like the Flash or Green Lantern or Wonder Woman? Like, you're obviously not going to kill the Justice League, but it'd be interesting if you do kill one of the members, like legit.
I feel like we're going to kill like a lesser character or something, like somebody that's like, well, I hope they don't kill Martian Manhunter.
What's
I
the
love
point
him.
then? Like you kill someone who's too like off to the side, and there's almost no point in it, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
So if you're going to kill someone off, you got to take out someone at least pretty important, or you got to make it seem like they're taken out.
Yeah.
And in
yeah.
comics, it's just always a question. So
Yeah.
For real.
Going
It'll
Superman,
be interesting. It'll be interesting to see Rocksteady's take on the broader DC universe, considering we're going to get pretty much the entire Justice League and Suicide Squad in this game. So that will be very interesting to see.
I'm just going back. Like, I do want to say, I really want to see the gameplay because I'm kind of in my head going like, what's it really going to look like? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, that's what
obviously,
it looks like. The trailer was in engine.
yeah, but
For it, so that's what. But I want to know, what it will play like.
the loop of it and all that stuff, right?
like, is it going to feel
Let's
kind
hope
of
it's
like
not
Back for
the
Blood, or
Avengers.
Yeah,
or the
I
Avengers?
totally stopped playing that game.
Yeah.
I really hope as soon as you get to the war table and you start loading things up, and it just starts becoming more like pick this, pick that, and loading to the same battleground over and over again. The game just lost it for me.
I think it also got. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
And let's hope they learn from games like that. But we don't. Yeah, and back to what you were saying, Andrew. We just don't know what this game is still. It was a cool trailer, but like we got a year away from it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And the thing is, everything that you were just saying, like, even though it's a reputable company, Crystal Dynamics, you know, how hyped we were doing Avengers and then what became of that. Like, obviously we're going to give Rocksteady the benefit of the doubt. They're such a great developer, but at the same time, you're just scared if it becomes some sort of, you know, Avengers-like game. But let's wait and see. Maybe we'll see some stuff during the game announcement, like the Game Awards or something like that. That's what I'm thinking. I think we're gonna get some reveals soon. If it's coming out 2022, we got to get something. We got to get something soon, right?
And I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but it looked like they had the Javelin in there from the movie at one point.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to use that or what, but I loved it. And Flula Borg's one of my favorite actors too, so it was just hilarious to see him sitting in that role. And I have him on Facebook or whatever, and he's still just nonstop going on about how he's Javelin.
That's funny.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We'll see. Yeah. We're all excited for it. Hopefully it becomes something other than that.
That concludes our DC Fandome.
That's it.
We exit the dome.
Yeah. The dome is off. And now going back, which is what we do, we talk about rumors or what ifs or possible things or leaks. There's rumor, guys. And it's a franchise that we really needed back, because this is my favorite little game when I was a kid. Rumor has it there is a new Splinter Cell in development, a mainline Splinter Cell game. We may see something as early as next year. Now, it's 2021. What do we want out of a Splinter Cell game these days? Ubisoft has been teasing Sam Fisher's return for so long. He's been showing up in Ghost Recon. He's also in Rainbow Six. He's also having an animated series. So it's about time we get a new Splinter Cell.
An animated series?
Yeah, there's a Netflix animated series that's in development right now from the John Wick guys, from what I'm told.
I watched that.
Yeah. Considering what Ubisoft is doing these days with their double down on free to play and a lot of Assassin's Creed, what do you think we want from them to do?
You mean monetizing single player games?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots to talk about, but I just want to kind of just say, because hey, I'm excited they're even in the process of throwing that hat in, right? But at the same time, I'm also scared because Ubisoft seems like sometimes the most tone-deaf company. For me, this is my opinion. I think they're a bit tone-deaf.
They are incredibly tone-deaf, Andrew. They are so tone-deaf.
Well, there's some folks that love their games, so I don't want to
They turn out some great stuff sometimes, but I feel like they definitely just kind of let it get out of hand. Because I absolutely love the Assassin's Creed games right up until they got to about the third one, where it was really supposed to be a trilogy, There's supposed to be just 3 of the games. And like that storyline made sense. And then it just kind of kept going.
Yeah.
And then
Now
it
it's
just
just an
started going off in all
RPG.
different directions. And yeah, now
Yeah.
it's just like from what I understand, like I haven't gotten Valhalla yet, but from what I understand, that's a great game and everything. I just haven't had the time to purchase it and actually sit down and play it yet. But that's just it. It's like I found like, yeah, they just kind of got buck wild and just started going off.
Yeah.
It seems like from Breakpoint on, like things have been just going really downhill. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played nearly as much of anything after Breakpoint, but
What I would like to see, well, one, I liked the last Splinter Cell game. I thought Blacklist was actually a pretty cool game, to be honest. So I hope they can evolve the series. I really hope they almost go back to the Chaos Theory days where it was a single-player campaign and then there was the co-op campaign. And things were like really hardcore stealth. And then there was the fantastic Spies versus. So what I really want out of a Splinter Cell game, I want Spies versus Mercs. I love the story mode and all that jazz, but man, when Spies versus Mercs was like really good and like hitting its stride, that game mode was so much fun. You could like put like little robots into like the vents to go like after the spies, and the spies could like remote hack, so you always had to change your location on where you're remote hacking.
yeah.
Oh, such a good game. I would love to see that. So like the thing that hurt that game mode was there was only certain areas you could remote hack. So people on the mercenary side got really good at just kind of knowing where you possibly could be. It'd be really interesting if they could take that game mode and put a procedural generation to the maps where like the map is constantly changing, or at least the part where you're hacking is changing. But that mode needs to come back. That's what I want out of this Splinter Cell game. Really good single player game, good co-op, good multiplayer. Like I feel like Chaos Theory and I think Pandora Tomorrow or something like that really hit those like 3 pillars. So I want to return to form essentially.
Yeah. For me, I'm in the camp where I think they're probably going to go a little bit more of like a conviction route where they're going to try to appease a lot more of the casual gamers, which I like. I like conviction. I know some people were like, it's a little too easy with the checking and all that stuff, and it felt too much like an action game. But, I'm kind of like, I don't know if like a main developer is going to be able to flesh so many like modes and so many little things in an $80 game, like, campaign, co-op, and multiplayer. I feel like not a lot of games are going to do that anymore. So I feel like that was like, like my childhood privilege that I had, and I just don't see 2021 for like developers to do something like that. But I may be wrong. You never know.
I feel like their co-op is almost pretty monetizable. Like just keep on giving us new like scenario and playgrounds to like work with. I almost feel like it would be even cool if they gave the community almost like a Forge like tool where you could set paths for AI and like create your own like little almost like Metal Gear VR missions and stuff like that.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Because Ubisoft, if you can say, hey, we could bring this mode back, but we could monetize it just so he's like it's like 2 guys are in the back room and they're just like, how are we going to get them to do it? He's like, we don't want them to do it, but like, what if we tell them we could figure out how to monetize it? It's like, yeah, but no one wants monetization in co-op. He's like, yeah, but if we don't say it, they're not going to let us do it.
Yeah, that's how you get it. That's yeah.
I'm mostly in agreement with Andrew. Like I didn't mind Conviction because it was a good game, and I always have a terrible tendency, especially in stealth games, to just see how far I can push the not being as stealth while still being stealthy. And just try and run around like John Wick and just like, oh yeah, peg this guy before he sees me and him and him and him. And I almost always get seen and just absolutely murdered, but
Yeah. Well, you could
for
almost
those
John
few
Wick it in
seconds, I'm
those
a
games.
hero. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
in Blacklist and well, it's Conviction and then Blacklist. I found like they actually got the formula pretty right with Blacklist after Conviction, but
Yeah.
where you could like mark like 5 guys and then just like unload.
Yeah, I enjoyed
It
that.
was cool.
Yeah.
So I, you know what? In the end, I think one of the main guys who did, I heard on a podcast, one of the main guys who did Chaos Theories is working for Ubisoft. So,
Yep.
you know, let's all we can do is pray that we get what we want, essentially.
Yeah. I
It's
forgot his
essentially
name.
that's what like Halo's doing. Give us what was good, but kind of update it. You know? So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did Watch Dogs Legion. I think the guy who did Chaos Theory. So he should be able to do a
no.
new game now. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, maybe. Yeah.
Ugh,
Why, you didn't like Watch Dogs Legion?
what a garbage.
I didn't play it, but
He did that?
yeah, I think he did Legion. What I'm told, the last one.
I heard the DLC's better than the actual game.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. I was looking into it because I enjoyed Watch Dogs,
Yeah.
but it did get a little tedious because I
It
found it
wasn't-
was just run in, hack
Yeah.
something, distract some
Yeah.
people, and then just shoot them in the head.
He's like, where we're a game about our protagonist. Let's not make a protagonist, and you can just like play anyone
Run
you
around,
want.
be
And
wild.
stupid.
Which is good. Whatever. It is.
All right.
Oh, well.
Let's. I feel like the more we talk about Ubisoft, the more
We're gonna go now. We should. You know what? Well, let's talk about home base right now. You know, Microsoft. Microsoft is making a good impression in Japan as they have sold over 100,000 units of Xbox Series X and S. Okay, it doesn't sound like a lot when you're like, oh, we're, millions is good, but Microsoft historically in Japan is like, they're a ghost town. They're just, they're like, why would you own an Xbox in Japan, right? It's kind of like, it's just the thing. But the fact that it's, it's almost a year and like they've sold more units than the Xbox One, that's amazing.
Well, what would they say? By November, they project they will exceed the entire lifetime sales of the Xbox One, the Series console, in 1 year. That's
amazing.
That's
pretty crazy.
It means they're doing at least something right. It means if there's such growth like that compared to last time, that means they are appealing to a certain crowd there and people are taking it in. And honestly, the more people who buy it and get Game Pass, and if they can get big RPGs like Scarlet Nexus and maybe even the Tales game that came out not too long on the service, I think that will go a long, long way because man, money is tight. Like all these people who are just like, oh, we don't buy games are just like dogging on Game Pass as a service. Bro, get some kids and get some real responsibilities, and then you tell me if you don't appreciate what you get out of Game Pass. Because I'm grateful anytime a game comes out on there that I really wanted to play and I can save a little bit and that little bit of money can go to maybe getting something for my wife or my kids or, even buying more groceries that month.
Yep.
Because I was looking at a game that just was added to Game Pass and then I saw like the actual cost of it and it was like, what, $63? That's a lot of money, man. That is a lot of money. So I think that will be more appealing and the more
this isn't even taking into account the people using xCloud.
Yeah.
Who are just using straight xCloud for everything.
I want to see
that's
that.
That's gonna be huge in Japan.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be amazing.
Because works really good. I was playing it for at least an hour on Scarlet Nexus for a while. So yeah,
like I said, I can't wait to try it on Windows 11 too and see how much better because it's supposed to be more purpose built for that and more guided, I guess. So it'll hopefully work awesome.
Well, and PC is the biggest growing market in Japan right now. But what was kind of leading the whole sales front for the Xbox was the Series S. But I feel like that console fits into their lifestyle and just their more compact kind of living space. Yeah, exactly.
I think the average, I remember it's like 500 or 600. It was like, it's like a low feet number where you're just like, what? That's, and then the rent of like what they're, like in a Japan apartment, I was like, what? So Series S is like a perfect device for that gamer, right?
Oh yeah, they're crazy apartments too. If you see some videos online and everything, there's people like reviewing them, and it's that like whole washroom converts into like the laundry room and stuff, and it's all one sealed room. So like it is the shower too. So the washroom, the shower, the everything, and then it's just super purpose built to be as compact as possible, and it's crazy, and it'd be interesting to live in.
Yeah,
like it's like those tiny homes that they got going on all up in Canada here.
Yeah. I hope Microsoft keeps selling more and more units, but I'm also just happy if they're, I think right now Phil Spencer doesn't care about the units anymore, right? He cares about Game Pass subscriptions and all that stuff, and I think he cares about Game Pass subscriptions in Japan a lot as well, because that's when you can get the ecosystem from those developers, right? Like Square Enix is now, I think, was it the Final Fantasy 14 developer was like saying like they're having great chats with Microsoft about it. So like I could see them looking at it going like, they're probably not caring about the console port. They're caring more about like the xCloud. So like being in Game Pass and being able to be on like somebody's phone. So.
Well, man, if they could come out and say, maybe even at the November 15th event, which we'll talk about in a second, but if they can come out and say, hey, Final Fantasy 14 is on Xbox, but it's not just on Xbox, it's on Game Pass and on cloud streaming. That's essentially them saying to Square and be like, look, now that you can actually update the game through your servers instead of going through us, because they unlocked that capability over the summer where they don't have to go through Microsoft anymore to directly update the game. They could be like, hey, let's put it on Game Pass. Your game is a monthly subscription. So one, they don't have to buy the base model of the game. They can just pay the monthly subscription to play the game. But it also is like, it will be on xCloud. So anyone who has a tablet can be all over that game. That's essentially saying, hey, we can release Final Fantasy 14 on cell phones. That's huge, right? Like that, in my opinion, that's huge.
I think that's their end game for Japanese developers. Is not like getting it on the console. It's just being able to get on Game Pass and being able to be on xCloud. And you guys are
mobile,
Yeah, so I feel like, definitely xCloud is their Trojan horse for that market. And if they can get a game like Final Fantasy 14, I think that would be a huge deal in my opinion.
Yeah. And probably way more. There's probably way more games that we just don't know about, right? There's all these developers that are talking about it. I you know what? Like you keep hearing about these leaks, so I'm just like, okay, we'll just wait till they're coming in and all that. But
it's hilarious seeing these achievements and everything too, just because taking into account COVID and the like microchip shortage and everything that has been going on, they could have sold even more.
Well, and easily. They dedicated a lot to putting them into their server banks. So the fact that xCloud is now completely, and they said it not too long, like a week ago or so, that they have finally transitioned all their server farms to the Series X infrastructure. That means they used a ton of those consoles for those server blades instead. So it shows where they want, invest into that, make it work good, and grow that. So when no one is able to buy consoles this Christmas and little Tommy wants to play Forza Horizon 5 at the highest quality, well, he can through the cell phone app. So
save a ton of money there too.
They have a good opportunity there. But they made some announcements as well as we got an event. We have some things to look forward to in November.
That's right. Moving on to our last discussion. Xbox has announced their 20th anniversary, and they have an event coming on November 15th. 20 years. 20 years, boys. 20 years.
20 years of Xbox.
Yeah. Microsoft has
I've
made
been part
it.
of it, everyone.
Me too.
Feel
Actually,
old.
no, I skipped the Xbox One. I hate the fact that
Yeah.
but actually maybe it was good because I got all those things. But man, I think about it. I'm like, wow, we're considered the youngest of the three big, console manufacturers, but we're 20 years old. We're just right there as well. Like we have a history just as much as Sony's and Nintendo's, maybe a shorter history, but
And PCs have been there even longer. They started the game, right? So
it's true.
Well, yeah, the whole reason they got into the console market was because they were afraid Sony was going to take over the living room and like it was going to become like a competition for Windows and stuff like that. So that's why they got into the console market.
Yeah. Well, they did say in the announcement there's going to be no new game announcements, but for some reason I feel like there is going to be other announcements. Like, did you guys hear about the whole Fable thing? Like, that was like, they sort of
Well,
said
I feel
it.
like we're going to see some games.
they were very specific about no new game announcements.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
So-
new games are going to show up, but we're going to get updates on a whole bunch of stuff, I think.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I think you're going to
I
get...
feel like properties like Fable, like properties that have a legacy, I think we'll see.
Fable, Starfield. We're going to start seeing some more of that Bethesda stuff, all those companies they've been acquiring and everything. We're going to see, I think, a lot of updates on all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Especially the xCloud.
Yeah, and you know what? I hope they announce some service tier changes. Like I was saying before, if they want to hit that mass market, they need that $5.90. They need that like $4.99, $5.99 streaming only tier. Like they hit just below growth for subscriptions with their latest earnings call. I think they were 10% lower than what they wanted to hit, but I feel like that's where they need to readjust things.
Did you hear all there's like all those like Sony PlayStation fanboys like, see, I told you it's not working, and I'm just like in my head going like, no, that was because Halo Infinite was supposed to like be released last year, and that was really going to be the one that was going to help generate a lot of like subscriptions, and that's because it's coming December 8th. I'm sure once Forza and Halo comes out, that subscription
Christmas,
it's going to be high. It's like, trust me.
Yeah, like
two huge games.
Once Forza hits, once they finally cave and announce Battlefield will hit.
Yeah.
I'm willing that into fucking existence.
I'm thinking that game's gonna get delayed, by the way. I think that game's getting delayed. That might be just me.
And Halo and the Christmas holiday coming.
Yeah.
I think that's also like we can get some really like surprise announcements for games coming to Game Pass at this November 15th event. Like they could say, hey, Battlefield is coming to Game Pass, like for sure.
Yeah.
And then all those people who pre-order it will be like, God damn it.
Yeah. That's true.
I'm excited.
It might have
I
to.
really, really want to see Fable. I really want to see Fable.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't
Playground
wait to see
Games
what that
makes
looks like.
such a beautiful open world racing game. Like I can't imagine what they will make for open world, even if it will be open world. Like Fable is not really known to be open world. It's more like hub areas and stuff like that. But
I just really, really, really want an open world like Fable 1. I love the gameplay in that. I love the mechanics and everything. I think that would be great. Just watching my guy, get beefy the more I start to beat stuff up with all the bigger,
like
heavier
horns,
weapons wearing the heavy armor. Yeah, get more evil. You start to grow some big-ass horns.
yeah. So.
It was good cartoony fun, but it was also the British humor was also a lot of fun because it just kind of was. I felt like the only RPGs I got used to was like either Western American RPGs or like Japanese RPGs, and I never like Fable kind of felt like this really odd thing where it was like this British RPG. Like it really felt British. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's good that the team who's making it is a British team. So
yeah. Also, we should talk about that, like if there's any new backwards compatible games from the original Xbox. But I feel like they're going to announce a big list. I feel like what's going to happen is like it's one of those like throw in parts of the announcement, and they're like, and here's a new list of backwards.
Here's that. Here's this.
Yeah.
And on top of that, we're going to throw out XP 20th Anniversary Edition.
Well, and one thing I think is a given, and I think we're all pretty sure we'll see, is the campaign for Halo Infinite shown off for the first, shown off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a little too early, though, Josh? I mean, November 15th, the game is going to come out December 8th. I feel like they have...
Well, they are celebrating Halo's 20th anniversary that day as well. So
Okay. Because they could have announced it sooner, but I think it's still too early. So even though it's coming out December 8th, maybe we shouldn't see any...
God, please give me Firefight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
Like you gotta start firing up the crowd and everything, just like they did with the original Halo and everything. Start getting people excited for it, especially this close to that date. It's like setting it out way far away like it was and making sure they delayed it and everything because of what they had kind of released and didn't look that great is, I think, probably the wisest decision, because then now you get this 20th anniversary edition. It's the perfect time to release all of that information and really get a good look at it.
Well, and they also, for people who are not spoiled like us and on Game Pass and who are going to spend $60 on Halo Infinite on Steam or something, what is going to, because like, let's not kid ourselves, Halo multiplayer and Halo Infinite campaign, those are two separate games. They're going to be two things you load into, there are going to be two separate things you pick on your dashboard. So this is not a normal Halo game. So what is going to be in that campaign package that is going to be worth $60 besides just a campaign? Like, it can't be just a campaign. Like, I refuse to believe that the campaign portion of this game is not some sort of twist around some multiplayer portion, like adding Firefight or having a Battle Royale mode maybe tied to just that portion, or maybe even like campaign co-op that uses your online character. But there has to be something more, and I really hope they explain what this entire package is finally.
Yeah, because we haven't had really any information on the campaign.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like maybe a touch of storyline, but even if that.
Yeah. And like, I want Firefight. I would want Firefight.
Firefight was amazing.
Yeah. It was. We'll see. I'm sure something will come about. I'm sure. Even Warzone Firefight would be good. I mean, actually, that's the other thing I want. I want to make sure that they have Warzone in Halo Infinite, because I love that mode. That was like the best part of Halo 5. Literally the best part of Halo 5.
Warzone Firefight was awesome.
Yeah.
Where you fought that like grunt mech and stuff. Like,
Oh yeah. That was cool.
Please.
It was so messed up.
Yeah.
And yeah, my reference earlier to XP is that just for reference of how old the Xbox is too, it's Windows XP's 20th anniversary as well. They're releasing an edition over in Japan somewhere. I don't know how that works, because I mean Windows 7 is out of support now too, so they're like re-releasing a totally out of support operating system.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
In support in Japan or something.
Why? Yeah,
they found some stock in their warehouse, and they'll be like, "Why not nostalgia?"
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I still remember Vista and like how much I hated having Vista and just like waiting for it to. Yeah, Vista was so terrible. But whatever. We should talk about our last little big question of that 20th anniversary, because I really like this little thing. What are some of your favorite memories from the last 20 years playing on this console? Well, this console series.
So many.
Yeah. Who wants
to start? My favorite back in the day was just the finally being able to be a part of LAN parties was one of my favorite things, because I never had a proper like gaming PC when I was really young, and when we got our first Xbox and everything, just having like a bunch of friends over, having some dudes bring over their Xbox, and then calling up their friends and getting another Xbox. We had it at one point where we set up 4 Xboxes in a house, upstairs and downstairs, so you couldn't screen peek, because that was the biggest problem.
That was a big thing. That was a big thing, yeah.
Yeah. and then wiring them all up to work together and actually like run from 4 consoles separated and everything, and connecting them all together and having like 16 people playing all together.
Oh yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, the pizzas.
I'd say like some of my best memories are like the early days of Xbox Live Gold, playing Halo 2 like when it first came out, and just playing like split screen 4-player Halo 2, Halo 3, and just getting like just rowdy in the house, man, with my friends.
Oh yeah.
Just
I
the social
remember
aspect of, and just like even now, man, like us getting together online, we all live, not close to each other.
Yeah.
So definitely the social aspects of Xbox have been some of the best memories.
Yeah. I remember that's part of the how much we gamed back in the day and everything too. That's like how we developed a huge amount of our friendship. All of us and everything, just getting the guys together and playing some Halo and just crushing it.
Yeah. I would say all of the Halo stuff, but the one added thing was that I was really terrible in RPGs, and like just being able to go on forums to be like asking questions, and like everybody's like giving you how to do so like I was really bad in the first KOTOR. Like I actually was like, I'm having trouble facing Dark Malik. I'm how to kill him and all that stuff. And like I think like for a few days I just kept like dying and just giving up, and then eventually I'm like, oh, maybe I should just go on forums just to see how it is. And then it's just like like 10 seconds later somebody responds, run around in circle and throw your lightsaber, run around in circle and throw your lightsaber. And I'm like, you know what I mean? That's the great thing about the console, like how a long time ago it was like I didn't have a phone, we didn't have any smartphones, but just being able to do something like that and just figuring it out by like reading long walkthrough guides and all that stuff. It was
Xbox magazine and all the demos.
Yeah. I mean, that was like Christmas. That was like Christmas for me. I had a year subscription from that. It was really good.
Also, like the early years of the 360, like playing BioShock for the first time, or beating Mass Effect 1 for the first time ever, and just knowing that you're playing these things that are going to be like truly special from the first time you play them.
I think
great stuff like that.
Gears of War, like the first ever chainsaw kill, I'm like, oh my god, I can actually do something like that. You know what I mean? That rewarding feeling, and just like feeling out of place.
I just remember them coming out with Gears of War and being like, you get a chainsaw on your gun? Like, what the fuck? That's awesome.
Playing like horde mode for the first time in like Gears of War 2.
Yep. That worm level, one of the greatest levels that I ever played. I love that worm level because I think when we got Gears of War 2 was when me and my brother got like an HD TV, because we had like old like a high def TV, and like we got like our first like a TV that only did 720p, and I remember being like, this is so breathtaking, you know what I mean? 720p, boys.
Oh man, playing Fight Night, the first time Fight Night round, was it Fight Night round 2?
Yeah. Beautiful.
Oh man, it was just mind-blowing. I could not believe the graphics on that game.
Yeah.
And then the slow motion like punch outs. Like the first time they really showcased the game where they used like the joystick to do the punching for the first time. Like, wow, what an insane game. And you know what is an awesome fighting game? The Def Jam Vendetta game.
All those games were actually great. Yeah.
Dope fighting game where the background like exploded and went with the music and stuff, and the graphics were amazing too. Oh, the good times with the Xbox.
Yeah, the Xbox is you know what? It's got
the chunky controller.
That Duke original.
Oh god, when that controller S came out, oh thank God for that.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I still like that Duke controller. I thought it was actually perfectly well. I thought how the A, X, and B and Y was placed, I actually thought it was much more convenient at that time. I remember when I got the Xbox controller S, I was like, it's too spread out. I remember feeling like this is not as close together, but that might be just me. I don't know. That might be just me.
Remember the cables, like tearaway cable?
Yeah. For when you chuck your controller across the room.
Yeah, did you pull your console with it?
I've tripped on my controller cables so many times.
Oh yeah, it worked.
Yeah. And then I remember the day when like the 360 came out and like the guy Jay Allard was like, yeah, and we're not putting any wired controllers. They're just in the way. And I was just like, what a snobby guy. You know, I remember being like criticizing like Microsoft. They just want more of my money. And then now I'm like, I can't believe I was like really into the idea of a wired cable for the longest time, and I didn't believe.
And now you're like, Microsoft, are you sure you're giving me all this stuff? Are you sure you don't need more of my money?
Yeah. Well, they did some stupid, sketchy stuff. Like I remember the remote. You needed to buy a $55 remote when.
When you wanted
to watch DVD.
Yeah, you had to plug in this thing into the.
I had that remote.
Yeah, I had it too.
Yeah, they had some weird executives at that time. You know what I mean? They had some
DVD drive separate from.
Going for the HD DVDs.
Yeah. It's okay. They just After that, it was just every game had like multiple discs, and you were just okay with it. You know what I mean? After that, you're just like,
just accept it.
Yeah. It's good memories. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good memories. Good memories, boys. Yeah. This is a good podcast, I'm happy to be back, and we'll be back next week and all that stuff, Like,
and
we'll be keeping you for a while.
Yeah, keeping you for a little while.
I'm hoping I'm not going to shoot for as soon as January or maybe things, so I'm hoping this November, December is like nice little freeze months, because I kind of want to take some mental days off, I just want to play some games. I really am looking forward to playing Forza, and actually more so Halo, and I really want my free time dedicated to Halo. I don't want to play Halo a few weeks behind and everybody else is a little too, you know what I mean? Like there's that vibe that you get when you start a game.
That FOMO.
Yeah. So I don't want to do that with Halo. So that's why I'm just like, I told anybody who are like filming, let's just do January, or let's do February, or let's do it when it warms up. You know what I mean? Like I'm making these excuses.
Anything but around Halo.
And I'm like, and I'm just like, they're like, oh, is it because of Christmas? I'm like, yeah, of course, Christmas. Yeah,
Christmas,
that's right.
Dude.
Yeah, Christmas.
That really takes up my time.
Yeah. Really.
The next meeting you're in, and they're like, oh, are you sure you don't want to do it because of Halo? He's like, yeah, motherfucker, I listened to the podcast.
Yeah,
right to the end too.
Yeah, my two friends who are also huge gamers, they watch the podcast, and they're also obviously they're with my film stuff, and they're just like, what's he gonna talk about today? You know what I mean? They're always like, what's he gonna talk about now? So there's the big things I can't talk about, and then there's the other things, but whatever. I want to play Halo. I want to have my free time. I'm an adult, you know what I mean? I need my freedom.
Believe me.
Yeah.
I'm an adult who barely has any free time, so.
Squeeze it in whenever I can.
You guys squeeze it in whenever. We'll play some Back 4 Blood. Let me help you guys beat it. You know what I mean? What should we do? Yeah.
Well, that will probably be another night for me. It's late.
Yeah, it's true. All right, folks. Well, that's it for this episode. Remember, I'm going to say all that stuff. Did I say all that stuff?
Actually, Dan says all the stuff.
It's Dan. You? Dan, say it.
Really
say it. I like it when you say
voice.
Say it.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube page and hit the like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below. If you find us audio only on Spotify, Google Podcast, just look for Xbox North Podcast. And we're also on Reddit, Instagram. Look up Xbox North Podcast. For Twitter, @North Podcast.
Wow, man.
Wow.
Jesus,
you have to start opening the show.
Can you start doing that from now on? Okay, next week you got to do that part, all right? Please. Like I'll do the intro, but you got to do that part.
Try it out.
Oh yeah, I forgot you haven't been here. It's a new thing now, Andrew. You would know if you would show up.
We're starting traditions, and you haven't even been a part of them.
Exactly. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of like an every odd person, like every Star Trek movie, right? I'm the
red shirt.
Yeah.
He's like,
the red shirt host.
Didn't he die like 2 episodes ago?
Yeah. That's true.
I saw a great picture of like William Shatner recently going to space and everything, and they just recolored all the shirts of them, and it's just like he's wearing the gold shirt, and they're all wearing red shirts, and they're like, should somebody tell them? Or
That's funny.
Fun little thing before we call it a night. I think I might actually in the summer, just for fun, just for myself, I might shoot a Star Trek fan film just because I want to. Even though I have
I'd watch it.
projects that are bigger.
A red shirt in that.
Yeah. Oh, please, absolutely. Like, take Josh and Dan with you, Captain, and then Josh and Dan just die. Just, we'll just.
No, we're not wearing shirts yet, and then there's like two different color shirts, and then we just fight over the blue one.
Just no shirts at all, and I just get a mad sunburn. Now I'm a red shirt.
Oh,
he's like, why'd you wear no shirt? He's like, dude, that's a red shirt, man. I know where the fuck I'm at.
Not putting that on.
Yeah, we really are old people because we know this reference, and a lot of people are like, "What are they talking about? What the hell are they talking about with Star Trek?" Well, find out. You'll find out. Anyway, that's all for it, folks. Thank you so much, boys. Always a pleasure. Always good.